My favorite apps on iOS for music producing purposes. Many people know out the gate, Koala's got to be number one for me. I think it's kind of the reason why I got into the SP404. It's not kind of, it is the reason why I got into the SP404. It is a sampler, a simple sampler. Some people may say it's more, and I think it is potentially more, but it's primarily a sampler. But I love it for everything you can do with it. And it's just fun. And the fact that it works both on my phone, the iPad mini, and any other iPad just about you got, and Android is pretty special. So for those that are in it on Android. So this app has just been like the reason why I continue to come back to iOS. It's just you've seen my videos where I rave on it. So I'm not going to spend all day. This is about the apps I love. But I love it for so many reasons. AUM, got to put that on the top. The best mixer, in my opinion, on iOS. A lot of people run away from it because they're scared of it. Or maybe, I don't want to say scared, but I should say the proper word to say for that is they are unaware of the power that it has. Also, maybe they don't, it doesn't sit and look like your traditional apps and DAWs and things of that sort. And that's because it's not really that. It's just a mixer, right? So you put a channel in, there's your channel. And I have a couple videos on this where I try to break down some of the simplicity of it, of how to use it. Of course, it can get really deep on you. But yeah, this is one of my favorite apps. Let's talk about another app that I love so much on here. And that is, recently I did the video on it since they did the update. This is Radio Unit AU, made by Beep Street. And I mean, you can watch my other video if you want to know. I'm not going to go into the details of why I love it so much, but it's a beautiful app. And the update just made it even better. It was good, but now the update pushed it to that next level. So those are probably the top three. You already know Tonality has to go in that group. Tonality, first of all, the dev is really cool. And Tonality just brought a lot of things for chords and stuff that I liked to the table. The ability to edit and basically just every feature you could possibly think of that you want in a nice app with regards to creating chords and things of that nature is right here in Tonality. I can't go without saying Scalar 2. I'm not going to pull it up. You've seen me use it a few times. Scalar 2 has all the features pretty much and some that I don't even use in it. And so it has to go in there in my top. I'm going to do top 10. I don't know if I said top 5, but I'm going to do top 10 because there's a bunch of apps that has to go in there. I'll probably put some cluster apps together. Like, in other words, if they make more than one app that I use, I'm not going to sit there and tell you each one. I'm just going to tell you the company and what I like about them. So far we've done what? Koala, AUM. We've done Radio Unit AU. We've done Tonality and Scalar. So that's 5, right? Or is that 4? No, I can't count. That's 5. Another app that I use a lot that I love, I've talked about it before, is Chord AI. Chord AI is great for figuring out what chords are in a song. Now, I will say you could use Scalar 2 and actually do that too. Which one's more accurate? I don't know. That's not Scalar's primary thing, but they're both really good. So either way, if you can't go wrong, if you can't get Scalar 2, maybe you're on the iPhone, then definitely Chord AI because it's on both. And that's kind of the benefit. All right. So other apps that I really like, that's number 6 we just did. So here's 7. 7 is going to be all the Swam instruments because they just sound so good. And for the price on the iPad, if you can catch them on sale, that's a must-have to me. I think it's super, super worth it. So all the Swam instruments will be number 7. This is in no real order. This is just what I like, right? Doesn't really matter. There's no order because they're all different and they do different things. Number 8 has to be Cleve Grand's Haze 2. The stereo width, being able to spread the audio, make it sound like it's bigger. And to me, spreading the stereo is an important key. In fact, I think I put it on every mastering chain that I have. So it's got to be in there. Definitely number 8. I'm going to group 2 together because they kind of do the same. Oh, and I'm going to say in Cleve Grand, I like a lot of their stuff. I have other apps too, like Grand Finale 2. I have the percussive one, Barista, I think it is. That's a great one. So I'm going to group Cleve Grand as a collective because they have so many apps that I like and use together. Audio, is it Audio Damage? I think that is my other one. That's going to be like number 9. I think if I'm right, they make Other Desert Cities. EOS 2 I use. Pan Station 2, I use them. Those are definitely top 9. That's 9. So 10 would be, I'm going to put these 2 together. No, I got to put them separate. 10 is going to be Tone Boosters because everything in Tone Boosters, especially at Bit Juggler, I love. And the Reel to Reel, which I've used, and the Barricade, which I've used on a lot of my songs. I'll use those type of features to either give it character or enhance the sound. And it's not that one is better than the other because FabFilter is more popular and has probably a bigger following. But FabFilter is definitely an amazing group. I have all their stuff too, and I love their stuff. So that's why I wanted to put them together because they both kind of do the same thing. They're mastering and EQing and compression and all that type of stuff. All of that from FabFilter or Tone Boosters is a winner to me. And so that's kind of my 10 spot. And if my count is off, this is all live. I don't write down scripts for this. Just talk to you. So I'm going to give you bonus 5 apps that I like. I like the Lo-Fi Dirt. It's not the only one that does that kind of vibe, but it's got its own. I like it for character. Sometimes it's cool to put it on the drums. Transient from FAC, really good for punch on drums. I love that. I started getting into the Bleece stuff. I think their stuff is really good. I haven't really committed enough though to it, so I don't use it all the time. The compressor is cool, like if I'm talking sometimes and I'm not doing, and I want to do a screen shared video, then I would use that. I'm starting to get into the Baby Audio stuff. So that stuff is really cool. I like the IH NY2. And then the Crystalline Reverb is really good. They have a couple other like the Magic Switch, Magic Dice, which are free. Check those out. And I think that, I don't want to forget on MIDI editing and stuff like that. Atom 2 is for me the winner on that. There's other ones, Helium from that are cool, but I think the editing of the MIDI in Atom 2 has been a lifesaver on iOS for me because a lot of the DAWs and things that are on there, I don't really care for the MIDI editing in it. And I don't use MIDI as often as I used to when I first started doing music. Now I'm more into the audio, just using the straight audio. And Ableton and Koala kind of got me going in that direction because they're both 2 great platforms to be able to edit audio and make it easy. Of course, the SP is too, and you can do that on the OP1 and the hardware, but we're just talking about the iOS apps and software stuff. What else can I say? There's all kinds of effects. We already went through that. And instruments. I dig the gospel musician stuff. There is no question I like their stuff a lot too. So I'll put them in my top 15. Pure Piano, Pure Upright. I forgot the company that makes them, but they're I think they are also the company that does some of the work for Native Instruments. So these 2 apps are 2 of my probably most used piano apps. iFretless bass, I forget, it's Mango Blue or something like that. I can't remember the dev. That's the one iFretless. I used to use the horns, but Swam kind of took that place. But iFretless bass is probably the only bass, and I play bass too. So iFretless bass is probably the only bass app that I'm really, really fond of. Like, I think it has the closest to real sound if you want a real sounding bass on iOS. I haven't found anything that beats it yet. Maybe one day. Also, I don't want to leave this out, but I'm getting into it, but Audio Layer. The hardest part about Audio Layer is I'm not super techy as far as like sound shaping, and so I don't really fully understand that as much. But if you can get your sounds through Logic and make find some EXS samples, those into Audio Layer play lovely, by the way, and I love them so much, and it's fun. And so that's it. That's my favorite apps, and I gave you some runners up. I don't want to neglect and say that I love Beatmaker 3 and I love AEM, Audio Evolution Mobile. Those are amazing apps. They do wonderful things. Again, these are just my favorites that I like. I'm not really saying one is better than the other. They all kind of have their own little strengths and weaknesses. You got to find your lane and what you like and then roll with that. So hopefully that kind of helps you to see where I like, and it's not anything against anything other apps. All right, so that's all I have right now. This video has went on for about 12 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and end it. I try to keep it short and to the point, and that's it. I'm out.